Hello and welcome to Achievement Hunting 101, the podcast that teaches and learns you all about those sweet bleep bloops that keep you up at night. This is level 25. My name is Rawkerdude and not FuFuCuddilyPoof. And with me today is Kooshmoose and Big L and FuFuCuddilyPoof. Koosh, it's good to speak with you again. Thanks for letting me crash your division night the other night. I very much enjoyed it.
Yeah, no problem. Nothing like playing level 20 content with a level 30 character and not knowing the buttons.
Well, when you're being carried, you don't need to know the buttons, right, El?
Is the division like a math game or something?
Yeah, I think so. Division with Mario.
Sounds right.
Nice.
Speaking of El, how goes life? Just playing games with you sometimes.
Oh, yeah. When we start such gems as Evolve, I don't know why we don't play together anymore.
Yeah, about that. I miss playing real games with you. And lastly, Mr. Poof, how goes your Foof?
It's going pretty well. I'm doing pretty good so far through the year.
You were supposed to say it's going through the roof. Come on now.
I'm not good at this.
Come on, man. Be more aloof.
I'm not a rapper. I don't got this.
Stop being a goof.
Well, I'm glad to see you all are in good spirits. Let's get to the first lesson, which is Proclamation Point. Will you do us the honor of kicking it off, El?
Sure. I have the honor of speaking with luminary Skeptical Mario, who's now in the top 50 of the TA Difference leaderboard for platformer. I have no idea what this means, so I'll move on to the next thing, in which he has completed 200 games.
Nice.
Now, I believe he conducted an experiment, and he went to the real settings to get some of these milestones, because I'm pretty sure he hit like 83% completion percentage last time, and now I believe 75% is his quote-unquote real completion percentage, including all DLC. We had a rousing debate about this topic in Discord today.
We did.
It was quite arousing. I mean, interesting.
All the things.
I believe there's some sort of meme talked about here. He has reached a milestone of over 9,001 achievements. That must have been a coincidence.
I'm sure it was.
Speaking of hitting over 9,000, that was his goal to do before the end of the month. So, GG's on making it.
At this point, the proclamation point is no longer just the redemption report. Skeptical
no redemption.
Mario has been dominating it.
I think he's gonna start being a normie after this month. I think just about let loose all of his load, if you will.
No comment.
Speaking of letting off a load.
Whoa.
Fufu.
Big L, that guy over there,
Hey,
is now in the top 20 of the New York True Achievement leaderboard for puzzle games.
Wow. I'm glad that there's somebody that does something with this show that loves puzzle games.
I have no idea how that happened, to be honest.
Michelle's going to be
Good
mad
job,
at you.
Michelle.
I don't know
Wouldn't
how
be
you
Michelle playing
have that,
Peggle on my
not Michelle.
tag. Whoa. No, it's not that. Michelle's actually number 3
Oh, never
in
mind.
New York. And Carnage is number 2. And Bill Zuminati is number 1.
Wow. We're kind of dominating the New York puzzle board over here.
I guess we could mention Stan at number 16, but screw that guy.
Prue has reached a new milestone. 17,500 achievements won.
Yay!
Way to go, Prue.
Well done.
X the hero.
Is now in the top 5 of the Pennsylvania Gamer Scored leaderboard.
X.
Sim, that guy that I totally remember to put on this now.
Mama.
He's hit a couple of milestones. He's hit 1,550,000 true achievement score, 1,000 completed games, and 950,000 gamer score. he should be crossing that million gamer score mark here real soon, I'm sure.
And about 50,000 gamer score he will.
And also, Buffs has reached a new milestone. He has unlocked 16,500 achievements. Way to go. That is a lot of achievements.
Way to buff your score.
Ba-dum-bum. The non-vowed What the Fug has reached a new milestone, 11,000 achievements won, with not a vowel to be seen. Carpe Adam 79 has reached a new milestone, 50 completed games. Rawkerdude 5012, weird numbers, is now in the top 5,000 of the True Achievement leaderboard for Metroidvania.
Yeah, that was compiled from a couple days ago.
Oh.
And it is since outdated.
What's the new?
Let's see. I'm actually
real-time report.
This is a gamer score, but it works either way. I'm in the top. I'm almost cracked the top 3,000 for gamer score.
Moving fast.
I would imagine TA is similar, but
not bad.
Nice. What'd you do that with?
Fast and heavy. So, well, it is the Metroidvania leaderboard, and lately I've been on the Guac train, if you will. Guac 1 and Guac 2 for the Xbox One has been
Salsa is better than guac.
Yeah. It's been my dip of choice, if you will.
Tasty guac.
What are you saying? That he's made avocado toast of the Guacamelee series?
We have Toadstyle Vellum. Toadstyle Vellum. Welcome to your new nickname. Is now in the top 5 of the True Achievement leaderboard for baseball.
Baseball.
There's baseball on the Xbox? I thought that was a PlayStation thing.
What they actually do, if you don't know, is they come out with an RBI baseball game every year with the exact same list, and it's basically the exact same game. And he's got the patience to do it all every year.
Good on you. Right. Fighter X93 Chip has reached a new milestone. 450 P's in his gamer tag.
Nice.
Oh, wait, completed games. Sorry, my bad. My bad.
Nice.
Tropan has reached a new milestone of 14,000 achievements won. Good job, guys. Yes, claps all around. All right, with that out of the way, let's hit up a tiny bit of news that might interest you folk. First up, we're going to talk about the game DC Universe Online. You might have heard about it. It's currently experiencing its 3rd anniversary, and to go along with that, there's an anniversary event that gives you credits, I think is what they're called, which is in-game currency. You get the credits by logging in. That's all you got to do, as far as I know, and you use said currency to instantly level up a character, which so happens to be that's what is related to all of the achievement descriptions requirements for the game, except for one. You just need to level up characters in different fashions. So I've actually played this game a little bit legitimately, and they did something similar a year ago, I think. Maybe it's been 2 at this point. I don't remember, but so I've done it once, and I plan on doing it again before the end of the month, because that's as long as you have. Koosh, I saw with my little eye that you started this game this past week.
I did. When it first came out, I played it a little bit and just ran around and realized that I wasn't, there was the whole debacle or what have you about buying the character advancement at the time when it first came out. And so I checked it out and didn't pop any achievements while still playing for about half an hour. And I said, all right, I'll come back to it. I believe I logged in on one anniversary prior, and then also I logged in on this anniversary and got the advancement token. And then in order to prep, I went ahead and I grabbed some tasty achievements. Basically just logged in, followed the guide on TA, and got 7 achievements in about 20 minutes, maybe. I used one token on a specific build of character, got 3 achievements. Used another token on a different character, specific build, got another 3 achievements, and then did the race right from the start, which is very easy with a flying character, which was one of the classes that they kind of walk you through. So as for cleanup, there's one more achievement that I'll get in a year. Or one more set of achievements that I'll get in a year. I assume using one, the next level 30 boost, which will give me 3 achievements there. And then at some point have to do some cleanup and actually play the game. I don't think it'll be around for another 3 years after that, of getting characters to level 30 that have a specific mentor. It's not very difficult if you're not a completionist. I say, why not?
Yeah, exactly. There's only 13 achievements, so you just heard Koosh unlocked over half of them, technically. One of them is the race, and then the rest are leveling up. And basically, if I remember it correctly, you pick a role, you pick a movement mode, and you pick a mentor. And
correct.
There are more mentor achievements than anything else, which is why you can't just do it in like nice chunks of 3, but you can still get, a decent amount of gamer score because, how much gamer score did you get, Koosh? A few hundred?
Definitely a few hundred. I mean, it was more than half the achievements, I believe. So I should be sitting at, let's see, do I have it open here? I do. I have 475 gamer score.
And here's the next question. What's the TA on that? Because this is a very heavy ratio game. Well, semi-heavy ratio.
Right. I think the TA, if I understand how TA works, it's 3,075. For my 475 gamer score, I've got 1378 TA.
For no work, essentially.
Yeah, for no work.
That's pretty good.
And if you go ahead and you jump the guide, so because most people that are doing this are following the guide verbatim, if you skip ahead and do the 3rd step instead of the 1st step, you will get more gamer score and more. I'm sorry, you'll get the same gamer score, but you'll get more TA than people who are following the guide because they're obviously not able to get to that unless they have more skips. So you could kind of jump the line and get a little more TA for your buck.
Yeah, that's actually what I'll probably be doing is picking whatever the top 3 TA pieces are, and that's how I'll build my free character this year. Fufu, have you played this game before?
Yeah, I've played this game. Let's see, actually 2 years ago. I was playing this with my brother and a friend. Game's actually kind of fun. I enjoyed it. Put 18 hours into it. I'm actually going to sign in and get the easy gamer score. But
yeah,
I've only
it can be pretty
one.
repetitive.
Yeah,
you just do the same missions over and over and level up, but it's not too bad.
I'm a huge superhero fan, so this was right up my alley. But as far as the gameplay, MMOs aren't my cup of tea.
Right. I do know another superhero fan, Elliot. Are you with us? How do you feel about this game? I feel like if I had to guess, you will probably stay away from it. Am I right?
That's a very good guess. I have no interest in doing this. Just for the quote-unquote free score. If I'm going to play a game, I'm going to play it.
I feel like you would actually kind of enjoy this because it is a co-op game. You can get in with, I think,
yes, tell me
people.
more.
I believe 6 people in a squad can go together to do raids and whatnot.
Really? So 5 people can carry me? I mean, help me.
There you go.
It is supposed to be soloable.
It is, yes. You can play it by yourself.
So which I know you won't do, but I'm saying as far as being carried, it's not going to be a difficult carry.
I will also say this. If you enjoy superheroes, just download it, start it up, and just watch the opening cinematic. It's freaking awesome.
If you, to supplement that, if you don't use the instant credits right away and you just want to test the waters, you could make your own character, and you're not going to get an achievement until you hit level 10. So unless you do that race, but you can easily bypass that race. So if you just wanted to, check it out, it's very diveable, but at the same time, it's very easy to just get the feel without, putting it on your tag.
And there's no harm in logging in, grabbing the token, and shutting it down, and not using it for over a year. So.
No, not at all.
Proof's in the pudding right there.
Yep.
That's also a good idea. That's something easy with a decent ratio to save for, I don't know, maybe some big tournament or something like that.
If you're a dirty preloader, you could totally preload.
Yeah, well, we already saw it. Some good TA differential for the summertime.
So there was a controversy, right, where people were paying, I forgot what it was, like $80 or $90 basically to buy the completion.
Yeah, you absolutely can
Jeez.
buy
You
these
can still do
levels
that?
like that. Yeah, it's just I can't remember. I don't know the price, so I
Because
couldn't
it's
tell you if
very
it's gone up or
deceiving,
not.
because under completion estimate, it's 0 to 1 hour on TA.
Right.
I was just about to ask that. I noticed that.
So
I had
people,
no
I
idea
guess,
how it was
bought it,
that
and that's
low.
what they put. If you look at the walkthrough, it says 90 to 120 hours.
Which that seems more realistic.
Yeah.
So compare with friends here. Compare with X the hero.
Hmm.
Oh, he doesn't have the completion. Okay, we're good. I don't have to grief him about that.
I have 13 friends who have done that.
Oh yeah.
Who've done that? Who've paid the 80?
I imagine so.
Wow.
Jeez.
Oh, I see some familiar names.
I
who
will
have
not
all the
call
achievements.
anybody out, Isrit.
Geek Squad.
No, Geek Squad.
He's got more than me. He doesn't have the completion, but he's got more than me.
But no judgment. You do with that information what you will.
No judgment.
But it is out there, and I do at least encourage you to at least log in and think about it. So, hey, what would Elroy do?
I will also say just one little advice for the game. If this is something you want to actually play and complete, there was something with the servers with logging in. You can play it for free and you get on the free waiting list to get into the game, which could take anywhere from 30 minutes to about 10 hours to get into the game. But if you spend any amount of money in the game, you get on their you get the fast pass and you get in the game immediately. So if this is something you actually want to, play, it would be worth buying like a starter pack, putting in like $1.99 or something like that, just so you log in immediately. Otherwise, it's a pain in the neck to play.
I actually didn't have any problems getting in, logging in right away. It might have been around launch that there were long queue times.
Yeah, with MMOs,
okay.
that's typically the case. And I did buy like a $5 pack just to get in the fast queue because, that first week was you couldn't get in if you were strictly free to play.
Maybe that's what it was for me. I just remember trying to play for free. It took me way too long to get in. I was like, okay, fine. Here's a couple dollars. Let me play this stupid game.
Right. Speaking of free asterisks,
Yes.
there's been some Game Pass updates. Kenny, you want to load us down with that information?
Sure thing. First game that's been added is We Happy Few. That's coming in January 17th. Next game that's coming is the Lego game, the video game, or the Lego movie, the video game, also coming the 17th. Then we have Middle Earth, Shadow of Mordor, January 24th, and Saints Row the Third, as well as January 24th.
So, right. So Saints Row is the 360 version, just to be clear.
Yay.
And then there's speculation on Middle Earth, but I'm almost positive it's the Game of the Year version, which is a separate list, if you remember.
Right.
And then the other two are, pretty straightforward. We Happy Few and the Lego movie game. We Happy Few I'm actually pretty excited about to try out, despite the bad press it's gotten. But yeah, not bad for the second half of the month. Anybody have any other thoughts on those games? Going to try them out?
I'm interested in Middle Earth. It's funny, I was actually thinking about getting this on a previous sale. I think it was something really cheap, like $4 or something.
Yeah.
But I didn't get it for whatever reason. I bought something else. But now that it's in Game Pass, it's like, oh, looky there. Maybe I'll actually try playing it now. And like you, I'm interested in We Happy Few. The game looks interesting. I know it's gotten bad press, but I still want to at least try it.
Yeah, it's a pretty long completion. I don't know if it's difficult or just or glitchy or what the deal is, but it's got some serious TA behind it. L, anything spark your interest?
Not really.
Yeah, not even the Saints Row stuff. You're already
Saints
playing
Row the third was
third,
Games
right?
with Gold, so if you haven't started it, there is a discontinued achievement to share your character online. Yeah, so unfortunately that would probably dissuade some people from playing what is otherwise a hilarious game. I mean, they have a dildo as a melee weapon. That's all you need to know, really.
I mean, who doesn't now?
I mean...
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure this is the game that's on my tag because of my nephew's playing it.
Well,
let me look.
They must be doing some stuff at school that they shouldn't be doing.
Dildos, though? That's the question.
Uncle Kenny, what's this weapon? Koosh?
Ask your aunt.
Oh,
jeez. Yeah, I'm interested. I mean, am I going to drop what I'm doing and play any of these? Probably not. I mean, I think I own... Yeah, I think I own all of them, except for We Happy Few. I did not jump in on that one, so I will probably play that one before I play the others, just to try to make the most of it. I enjoyed Shadow of Mordor. I have not played the Game of the Year, but I definitely picked it up when it was on ridiculously cheap sale, the Game of the Year edition. And I haven't played any of the DLC, I think, on the original, so there's a lot to go in for. It was a fun game. Kind of has that Assassin's Creed vibe to it, with the combat and the kind of the Batman combat as well. The Arkham stuff. It was fun. I would definitely recommend playing it if you haven't, and the price is right.
Yep. Yeah, so those are the additions for the rest of January. By the time this comes out, We Happy Few and Lego Movie will be available, so you can go ahead and download those. Middle Earth and Saints Row to be coming out in the next few days. What about removal, Skinny? I know we've had some speculations, we've had some teases, but I think everything's been documented now for January's bye-byes.
Yeah, so we're losing Riptide, GP Renegade, which I believe was Games with Gold. We're losing The Escapist, The Walking Dead, Letter Quest, Grimm's Journey Remastered, Tom Clancy's The Division, Dead Rising 3, Electronic Superjoy, Roundabout,
Steriden.
Yeah, that one.
I guess.
It's close enough. And then Stecky. Yeah. Division leaving kind of sucks because I wanted to try that.
The sales are on that. They come around. It's not that expensive.
No, not anymore, especially with the Division 2.
Yeah, that's true. That coming out.
I think the only one of those games I've played is Letter Quest.
I thought you were big into stacking.
Oh, I have played stacking.
Yeah, okay.
But Letter Quest, in terms of being completable in the next couple weeks, you can do it. I actually played that game with my wife, and we did not use a jumble solver or anything like that. But I imagine if you did use one, you could probably knock out that game in a few days.
Yeah, if you are looking to start any of these things and trying to complete them, I think the only reasonable ones are Riptide if you're good at those games, The Escapist, The Walking Dead, which I think Waka did a quickie on, Letter Quest, like El just said, and probably stacking.
And stacking, yeah.
Yeah, the rest of them, Dead Rising 3 I'm not really sure on, but I know The Division is super long and grindy. Electronic Superjoy, Roundabout, and Steriden are hard games. Maybe not Roundabout, but it does have the crazy 8-hour achievement. So
yeah, screw that noise.
Oh. Do you know what the Canadian version of that game is called?
Is it called Roundabout CN?
No. Koosh, you want to guess?
Roundabouts?
Roundabout?
Roundabout, yes, that is correct.
It was right there.
It was right there in
right
front
there.
Indeed.
Should have had it.
Dead Rising
should have
60 to 80 hour completion. So if that's all you want to play, you can probably complete it. But
yeah, I thought Riptide GP was not going to be that difficult. I thought I saw a lot of people completing it when it first came out. But
well, there's two Riptides. I don't know if you're confusing them or not. I actually looked just before this, and I dove it, and yeah, I'm not good enough to get the first places and all that. So, oh well.
Is it the sort of game where you can, I guess, upgrade your jet ski or whatever it is?
Probably. I'm almost positive that you can. I didn't play it long enough to get into it, to that piece of it.
Gotcha.
Well, that was Games Pass Remove Games. Looping around to the free asterisk games, we do have a Games with Gold update. It is the middle of the month, and so some things are staying and some things are going. Well, some things are coming. I don't remember if there's anything leaving right now, but so far Celeste is going to be around the rest of the month. If you have not picked that up, make sure you at least grab that license if you have Gold. It's a fantastic game, and there's an easy mode, so that should appease a lot of people, because it can be a very difficult game, but the easy mode will help. WRC 6 is in town for the next month until mid-February. That's some kind of rally game, racing. And then Far Cry 2 is the 360 offering, which is around for the next couple weeks, the 16th to the 31st of January.
The Lara Croft game is the one that went bye-bye. If you missed
It's
it
gone, yeah.
both times.
I was just about to say it was the second time there. Hopefully everyone has it.
Yeah, if you don't, I'm sure we'll start seeing some repeats. I kind of have a feeling. So, Celeste, WRC 6, and Far Cry 2. Koosh, anything on those?
I started Celeste because I was looking for a good platformer, and then I kind of put it on the shelf because I want to be able to devote time to it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I've got a game coming here at the end of the week, and that's all I'm thinking about. Everything else is just grabbing the licenses and holding on to them, I got a one-track mind right now.
Yep, yeah, and again with the Celeste stuff, it was up for Game of the Year, so I can't say enough good things about it. Elliot,
yes.
I don't think any of those are going to do anything for you, to be honest.
What do you mean? I'm a big racing fan. I think I would play Celeste with the assist mode on.
You like precision platformers?
To the chagrin of Woo! Who will make fun of everybody who does so, and that's fine. I've played Meat Boy. I didn't get too far in it. I like N+. That's my favorite of that type of genre. You're beat your head against the wall until you get it done type of genre.
Okay.
That's the only one I would play out of all those. Yes.
Yeah. For me too. Like, I usually like Far Cry stuff, but I'm pretty sure 2 to 3 was a big jump in the series. I think I came in at 3, but I don't see myself going back to 2. So, Fu, you just spoke up. Anything there that you want to say something about?
Kind of a meh.
Man of many words.
Celeste is interesting because it was up for Game of the Year, so I might try it, but no, none of this really piques my curiosity.
Well, something else that probably doesn't pique your wallet's curiosity is the sales. As
Don't
usual,
forget sandwiches.
Yes, sales and sandwiches.
Yay!
The weekly sales have been revealed, so you have till the end of the night, Monday night in American time, to get these. We're not going to go over everything. We just want to go over what we personally have interest in, and I'm going to throw it to Koosh to lead us off on that. So, Koosh, looking at the sales list, anything for you?
Oh, I think it's pretty obvious. There's one thing for me, at least. SteamWorld Dig 2. The first entry in the series was labeled as Metroidvania. When this one first appeared on TEA, I think it was a platformer or action adventure or something. And it has recently been relabeled as a Metroidvania, and it's half off, so $10 for a $20 game. Picked it up, dove it, love it. I definitely want to finish the first one before I come back to it. So I recommend that if you like those.
I'm going to pause you right there because I looked it up. SteamWorld Dig 2 is still not classified as Metroidvania on TA.
Oh,
they need to fix it.
I'm confused. I'm trying to predict the future.
Yeah, action adventure currently, but there have been a few disputes.
I'm not saying people should go dispute it, but
you definitely should.
Yes, but you definitely should.
I believe their own promotion mentions the word Metroidvania.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty rare that a sequel would switch from one genre to a completely different genre. I mean, it has happened. Mario.
Zelda 2.
Yes. Exactly, and Zelda. But, so they're really big guys.
But
I think it's pretty safe to say that this is a Metroidvania, especially when they self-describe themselves as Metroidvania, and the previous title. So I spoke a little ahead of turn there. Sorry about that.
We're gonna get it there. It's a legal process. Brexit or whatever. It's probably holding us up.
The paperwork's in. Yeah, we're just waiting judgment.
So SteamWorld 1 is like $3, I believe.
Which one?
SteamWorld Dig 1.
Yes, I think that is also on sale for
$3.29 right now.
Yeah, and then 2 is $10.
Yeah. Now the first game is a little bit more of it's got more of a rogue element to it in that the levels are randomized, whereas this one everything is kind of set and you're going through it, so it's more of a true kind of straightforward story and layout. I'm also looking at Xenon Valkyrie. I haven't really made up my mind on that one yet. It's $5.
It's hard.
Originally $10. Yeah, it's hard, but I'm not a completionist, so it's fun to be squeezed out of it.
I got the first achievement in it. That's about it. It's pretty hard.
Okay. Well, what type of game is it?
It's a roguelite platformer.
Roguelite platformer. Yeah.
It's hard. It's another one where the levels change up.
Okay, well,
but it's retro. It's got that retro 8-bit feel to it, or 16-bit feel.
Okay, it wasn't a day, a sale day one buy. It's one of those I just kind of leave a tab open, and if the tab, the browser doesn't crash by the end of the week, sales come back around, there's a chance I'll pick it up. And while I have already purchased it, and it was Game Pass, Skyforce Reloaded for $6 is a great game if you're fans of the I'm gonna get the year wrong, 1942 game from the NES in the arcades. Basically, you're a plane flying from the bottom of the screen to the top of the screen, dodging bullets. Kind of not really a bullet hell, but if you're familiar with 1942, it's a great ode to that genre, to that game type. And the first game was Skyforce Anniversary, which was, I guess, a remake, maybe from some other version of it. I don't know the whole lineage of everything, but the most recent game is Skyforce Reloaded for $6. It's a ton of fun. It's a good pick up, put down game. I recommend that if you don't already have Game Pass and you haven't picked it up already.
I was actually looking at that one also. I was watching a video on it, and it looks fun. It looks like something I'd enjoy, and something that a lot of our listeners might actually be able to relate it to. That ACA Neo Geo Aero Fighters. It's basically the same thing as that, but it looks good.
See, now you got me thinking about an ACA game.
Oh no,
that's crazy. What about you,
it's
Al?
that same feel, like you said, you're flying a plane or whatever, you're going up, and it's bullet hellish.
I would definitely have to check that out. I mean, there are a couple game types for the ACAs that I'm interested in that aren't for the fighting, the bubble bobble type, this type. So I'll definitely be checking that out. Al, was there anything in the sale that kind of piqued your interest that would maybe tempt you to not get a sandwich?
Maybe. Well, I haven't played SteamWorld Dig 1 yet, so I think before grabbing the second one, I'm going to wait a little bit. I did notice Doodle God Ultimate Edition is on sale for $6. Doodle God Crime City was my first entry into that series. Looks like you have that one on your tag, Koosh. Have you played any more of the series?
I've played them on the mobile and the PC. I have yet to play one on the Xbox. I'm a little worried about the control scheme. It's murder on the GUI.
You do have this one dived.
Did I dive that on the one?
Yes.
There was a trial.
They
got me. I was thinking, I can do this. I can do this in an hour.
A trial.
Yeah, you cannot do it in an hour. I figured it'll go on sale. I will eventually get it and clean it up.
Well, it's $6. The TA estimate says 3 to 4 hours. Crime City was about that, but Crime
Was it Play
City
Anywhere?
was Play Anywhere. I was just going to say, yeah, it doesn't.
It's not. Yeah.
Yeah.
This one's not. Okay.
You can't use your finger.
Yeah.
It's going to slow down progress.
Use all 10 of your fingers. Unreal. The Video Kid is 30% off. It's $3.49. I think only Rocker played it.
Yep, I took advantage. There was like this pricing error, so it was free for a very short period of time. I nabbed it and completed it.
Oh,
I would have bought it at this price for sure, though.
Yeah, $3.50 is not bad. $3.50. $3.50. You don't got no $3.50. Someone in the chat, I want to say Chip, said Slender for $149 is a good steal. Normally $10. If my math is correct, 85% off. Yes.
Yes.
Other than that, I think I'm good to go.
Saved your money for lunch.
Yeah.
I took my lunch money and I bought SteamWorld Dig 2.
All right.
I haven't played the first one, but I was gifted the first one by a lovely friend from New York. And so I'm going to play the first one first, but I did dive SteamWorld Dig 2 so I can rightfully dispute it.
Did you get out to vote?
I did.
Did you get a sticker?
Another good thing about SteamWorld Dig 2 is it is Play Anywhere, if you did not know.
Oh.
Even
It's
better.
good for vacation or travel.
Not that really swayed my opinion on buying it, because I'm going to hit up every decent Metroidvania sale. But yeah, SteamWorld Dig 2 is the lonely one this week, since I went pretty heavy last week.
That's not a Metroidvania.
It will
Not
be.
yet. It will be.
Do you hear us, Chin Doctor? Do you hear us?
Give us genre or give us death. That didn't really make sense, but
We got
Kenny?
the sentiment. Well, I've picked up Slender: The Arrival because it's $1.50. That's cheap. I figured, why not? And as Koosh was mentioned, I'm also interested in Skyforce Reloaded. And now that it's been brought up, SteamWorld Dig being $3, probably pick that up. That's cheap for a game, especially for a Metroidvania.
There you
that'll
go.
help with the Metroidvania contest and BCM and all that. But yeah, other than that, that's about it.
all right. I don't know where I was going with that, so I do know where I'm going with the next one, though, and it's somewhat of a new lesson, if you will. We're going to be showcasing a community question every week in our
I'm glad you asked
segment.
Oh. Hello, Chivabot.
Yes.
Chivobot is the best.
So before diving into this hopefully reoccurring segment, we just want to mention how excited we are that you guys are conversing in Discord and coming to us with these questions so we can mention them on the show. And so we're gonna tap into that and answer them as we get them, and we have some in the chamber for obviously other shows, but for today we're gonna take a question from good old Skeptical Mario. And Mr. Skeptical asks, how is your relationship with the Xbox 360? Have you moved on? Kenny, have you moved on?
Sort of. We're in a love-hate relationship with it right now. I hate playing the 360 because it's so freaking slow. The load times are horrible. It takes 2 minutes to boot up. It's meh. And the 360 controller is okay. The one controller is much better. I would much rather play a backwards compatible game. But with that being said, I did go on a date with the 360 the other night. I have officially put Titanfall 360 on my tag.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
I'm excited for it.
Did you buy the skip a gen?
No.
What was that called
I'm
again?
not going to make that mistake.
Did you play a match?
No. All I did was did a training, which I didn't know was there. It's been so long since I've played Titanfall, I forgot that when you boot it up, you have to go through this training.
Yeah, it's the
which
virtual.
takes 20-ish minutes. And that's all I did. I knew that they had the one achievement to create a pilot loadout. So I figured I was going to play a game, get to level 3 real quick, create it, and then that way it's on my tag. But no, I just did the training and said, I'm done. I just wanted to get it on my tag.
You weren't ready to go back to Japan West just yet.
Oh, I'm ready. Once everyone is good to go, I'm ready. Getting back into that game, and even though it was just training and you're fighting these weak bots. Oh man, I'm excited for this game. I love Titanfall. That game is so good.
I guess I need to throw down the 285 to pick it up.
You definitely need to. Even if you don't want to boost it, just play it. It's a good game.
Well, I already have it once, and I can't imagine that the quality's any better.
Oh no,
on the 360.
It's definitely not. There is a noticeable difference. It doesn't look terrible, but there is definitely a difference in it.
Speaking of not looking terrible, Elle.
Yes.
Have you moved on from your 360?
I most certainly have not.
Oh. But you still play your one, right?
I most certainly do.
So it's a little menage situation.
Yes.
Menage a trois, if you will.
I have enough HDMI slots that I could play both. Sometimes even at the same time.
Oh, risky.
Risky business. Most recently, I've been playing a little gem called Kung Fu Panda. And as it turns out, I was up in the attic recently and I found the box for my, if you even remember this guy, the Xbox 360 Elite. And it came bundled with Lego Indiana Jones and Kung Fu Panda.
Oh, yeah, it was like a dual disc.
Oh,
wasn't it?
Yes.
See that all the time in GameStop.
And that's from, and when I got it, 2009, 10 years ago. So
It's hard to believe that's 10 years old.
I'm almost finished with Kung Fu Panda thanks to the random to-do list. It's the type of game that whenever it shows up, I play some of it and I say, yeah, I'm going to complete this, and then I never do. I most recently completed it on Dragon Warrior difficulty, which is the hardest difficulty. Unfortunately, the difficulties do not stack in that game, so I need to finish it on the medium difficulty, which I believe is called Master. I had beaten it on the easiest difficulty, and that did not get me an achievement, so I wasted a whole playthrough when I could have just done that on the medium. I guess I didn't look at the list carefully enough at that time. So one more playthrough to go, but you can use cheats in that game, and they don't disable achievements, so that's a good thing. One more playthrough to go. And Michelle and I have been playing L.A. Noire on the 360.
Great game.
Unbelievable. Came out in 2011, and we just completed the story. I think we started it together.
Wait, you just did this story?
We just finished the story, yeah. And we
When
started
you said
like
completed, I
no,
thought
we
you got all the
we
achievements.
finished the story, and we played without a guide, and we tried to determine
Oh, absolutely.
if they were lying or not. And unfortunately, if you get any of those questions wrong, you usually don't get 5 stars, and you have to wind up doing the whole mission again.
They're
But
not
it's
short from my memory.
It's
My
actually
memory serves me.
it's actually
Some are.
it's actually very interesting to play the cases twice because they actually can play out differently depending on what you do. And just for fun, the other day, in the first mission, I accused the first lady of lying every single time, every question, and she gets really upset with you. It's really funny. So they actually have built-in dialogue, knowing that you could try all these things. So endless replay. But you've held on to a game too long when, hey guys, did you hear there's an Xbox One version
Damn it.
of the L.A. Noire?
I was hoping we didn't go there.
Get all the way
Stole
through
my
it.
joke.
Sorry, guys. Should have put it in the rundown sheet. But anyway, yes, you've played too long when a 360 version has a one version out. Those are the two games I played with most recently on the 360. But every month on the RTDL, something new comes out. As a matter of fact, the only way I definitely use the 360 Connect games way more than the one. All right, I'm done.
Sometimes you can never tell.
You just love that 360. You just
I
won't
do.
stop
I
talking
love it.
about it.
Oh, you know what 360 I have? There was this one at Walmart a couple years ago. It's a pretty blue one. It's shiny. It's like 500 gigs.
Wow.
So it actually didn't take too long to boot up, but now, of course, it does. There is a workaround that we've talked about where if you throw your tag on a flash drive instead and boot it up from there, it's a lot faster.
Seems
Smart. Very smart. And also delete the games you are not using on there as well. As soon as something becomes backwards compatible, delete it. Delete.
Koosh, your relationship with your 360.
I am
How's it
a
going?
devoted Xbox One player.
That's what I like to hear.
But I do have a 360 on the side. Just don't tell my Xbox One about it.
That's all right. That's all right.
I go back to the 360 whenever there's something that's not BC. If I have the option or I've haven't started something, I'll play it on the One. But if it is a game I've already played, and obviously if it's not available on the One, then I'll keep playing it on the 360. My hard drive is dangerously full, so I need to start cleaning some things out. I was just over there, I would say 2 weeks ago, completing Guacamelee, the original on the 360. Wrapped that up in getting ready for next, this week for Guacamelee 2. So that was the last time I was over there. I'm trying to remember what else I played. But by the time I go to play something on the 360, it's been remastered or it's backwards compatible on the One. So, but yeah, I use them both. I actually took care and went out and got the free 60 that they had not too long ago, just in case, because I have had one or two 360s die. And I picked one of those up just in case, because I do plan on continuing to play the 360 stuff, the exclusives, the discs, anything that doesn't get the backwards compatibility treatment. So yeah, I'm a 360 for life, or the life of the 360.
Whatever comes first.
Yeah.
The backlog is a thing.
What about you?
Much like you, I picked up a free 60 as well. I actually didn't have a 360 to go back to, so I picked up a quote unquote free one, which we should be getting those reimbursements here soon. And I picked up a few games with it, just kind of random stuff that seemed fairly short. Most notably, I picked up TMNT or something like that, Danger of the Ooze, which our good buddy L just got reclassified as a Metroidvania. So
well done.
That is why.
Doing the Lord's work.
And then doing someone's work. And then I will probably jump on Titanfall 360 if a boost gets going. My thinking is I'm going to build a shelf. I have a treadmill in the garage that doesn't get used. I'm going to build a shelf. I'm going to use the treadmill to play Titanfall 360 with you guys. So,
good plan.
Wear football pads. That's all I'm going to say. Unless you have really good balance, you're gonna go for a ride.
Yeah. Well,
please stream it.
Seems not smart. Okay. So we have another. We have a gaming segment, right? That's the next segment, and one of the last ones actually. And typically we picked a game and we kind of talked about it in depth. So we're gonna spin this for the coming weeks into more of a competition focused gaming segment. So many of you are participating in the Freamwhole Completion Challenge or the Iron Fist of Snuff Better Completions Matter Challenge, or both, which you should be. And we thought it would be helpful if we take one completion category a week and feature that for our gaming segment. And then we're going to start at the top of Freamholes this week, but we're just going to pick one and we'll tell you what we're picking or what we think we're picking and a little bit about it. Not too much though. So the top of the list for Freamhole's Completion Challenge is Girl Power. And this category tasks participants with completing a game where a main playable character is female. We're going to start with Koosh and go down the line. What game do you plan to use to complete Girl Power, Koosh?
Right. So I am going to use Assassin's Creed Liberation. I started playing it on the PSP and didn't get very far. And then when it came to the 360, obviously I installed it there. And then I believe that one is backwards compatible. Yes, it's only 400 gamer score with a 555 TA. It's got 15,000 tracked, 5.3 thousand have completed it, so that's about 35%. It's about 15 to 20 hours. I would say at least halfway through. I think I probably have about 5 hours left on it. So for me, this is going to be lots of things that I can work through. Because it does complete a backwards compatibility, it's completion, and it's a remaster of the soon-to-be remastered game that I will also hopefully pick up.
Games on games on games.
Games on games.
Cool. L.
Hi, buddy.
Bring it in. Games with girls. What are you doing?
Oh, gosh. Girl power. You guys ever hear of a lovely game called Beyond Good and Evil?
Yeah.
Just
maybe.
lie and say yes. The
Speaking of
protagonist
remasters.
is a lovely lady named Jade. And she goes around and takes pictures of things. And oh my god, she's just a butt kicker too. Just amazing. Yeah, this is another game that I've wound up with on UHH and RTDL. About 3/4 done with it. It's time to be 4/4 done with it. So Beyond Good and Evil is my choice. Get that off the tag.
Okay. We got Assassin's Creed and Beyond Good and Evil. Kenny, you staying in this vein of easy older games?
No.
Of course not.
I want a real game to complete.
Ooh.
And something that's been like a personal goal for me to complete. Rise of the Tomb Raider. I'm a big Tomb Raider fan. I've always liked the games back on the PlayStation.
What's her name?
Lara.
Lara. Go ahead.
But Rise of the Tomb Raider, I love this game. It's so good. It's probably within my top 10 favorite games of all time.
Have you beat the main campaign?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
I've beaten the main campaign and some of the DLC. As of right now, I have 61 out of 143 achievements. There are a lot of achievements and a lot of DLC for this. One problem, though, with the stupid game is some of them didn't unlock for me, so I might have to redo some of this, unfortunately.
What's another 60 hours?
Yes. One thing I do want to point out, if you decide to play this game, is that there are 2 partially discontinued unobtainable achievements. If you're playing this on the Xbox One X and you're using the 4K enhanced, they, for whatever reason, don't pop. That one's odd to me. I don't know why.
So it's not a stealth pop. You won't get them.
Yes. That's odd. I don't know what.
Interesting.
I don't know what makes them.
Can you not use the 4K and it works?
I believe so.
Yeah, that's weird.
Hey.
Like I said, I don't understand. That's what
that
TA
happened to
is
me
telling
recently too, guys. With
I know
Goat
this is-
Simulator.
Okay, that's it. Yeah.
And
There's been a few games where if it's 4K enhanced, they don't pop for whatever reason.
the MMO DLC, 2 of the achievements do not pop. Not only do they not pop, you can't even do the thing in game. You have to jump through a portal and you have to say that you want to continue, and you can't even do it.
Well, shit. I'm supposed to complete that here soonish.
So I never traded in my big black VCR, as Smitty calls it, for that reason. Well, not for that reason, but
I thought you were able to turn off the 4K content.
I believe you are.
never
Yeah,
tried
what
it.
if you just change your settings? You know?
Like I said, I believe you can turn it off and then do whatever the achievement is, and it'll unlock. TA, from what I see, unless I'm missing it, doesn't actually say. It just says that with the 4K enhanced, they're unobtainable.
Well, totally without researching, I thought it was also possible to turn off 4K content on the game level. per game. So you could have it for some games, but not for other games. I could be totally wrong, but that might be worth checking. The 5-minute Google search.
I don't think Kenny's going to turn off that 4K with Lara.
Bring it.
I don't think so.
Well,
It'll ruin his night.
But yes, that's the game I want to complete. Has 2,250 gamer score and 5,565 TA.
Well, I think I've picked the quickest and the easiest out of all of you guys. I'm picking Samsara, however you say it. Now, I do kind of need a ruling on the field here because when I was writing this, I was thinking about it. You technically don't... She isn't a playable character. I don't know. I'm going to need a Freem ruling on this so he can tell me in 6 weeks when he listens to this. So if you're not familiar with the game, it's like a puzzle game. You put blocks down and you click on the girl and she moves and goes to the end and, she can't fall off or whatever. So that's why I thought I could pick it. But I completed it like very early on this year, like the second day. It's not a cheap game. It's like $15. It's only been on sale one time, down to like $10, but it is play anywhere. And so it was a great game to put on my PC, my Surface, and follow a guide, really. Because actually, I played a little bit without a guide, probably the first couple worlds. But there's an excellent guide on TA that will get you all of the gamer score in just over an hour, I think, maybe 90 minutes. But it's perfect when you're not near your console, and it's a really good streak saver game too, if you're into that. But being super easy and super quick and having an excellent guide means that the TA is very low, so it's only about 1100 TA. So
the guide is great because you don't even need to look at videos. You just have to look at one screenshot. It tells you where everything needs to be.
Exactly,
and
that's my favorite.
And you can just
my perfect guide.
Reason it out. I think that should count. I'm guessing her name is Samsara.
Her name is Z.
Oh,
actually.
Like I said.
Z, so it's gender.
But it is a girl, so I don't know. Freem, Samsara, girl power. Let me know.
You even allowed to classify men and women anymore?
Well, we are this year.
Moving on this show, we are.
Might get in trouble.
It's ma'am. It is ma'am.
I can call the police if you'd like me to. You need to settle down.
You need to settle down and mind your business, okay? Ma'am, once again, ma'am.
Speaking of gender classification, we're going to wrap things up. So we've been talking about the BCM 2019 and Freamwhole's Completion Challenge, but don't forget there's other contests out there like RTDL, Gamertag Challenge, which I think is still Kingsman this month, and then whatever TA might be running at the moment. We talk about all that stuff in our Discord, as well as general help and boosts for games. And we have a ton of that stuff going on in the Discord. Specifically, I want to mention the Hawken boost. It will happen. I promise you. I'm not going to tell you the date right now because I would tell you the wrong date.
I believe we're looking for January 26th.
I think
there's 26th date going around. There's a 28th date going around.
Why not both?
Exactly. Some people can attend one and some people can't attend the other. So we're going to help as many people as we can. It's not a super big requirement, but I do want to encourage you to download the game and log in every day that you can. Just log in. You don't have to play it, but you get daily rewards, and those go to in-game credits, and those in-game credits rack up really fast, and they go a long way and they will help you get the completion even faster. So if you're interested, come in, let somebody know.
Faster.
And we will let you know the specific details.
That's for you, Ken.
And I don't expect this boost to take more than a couple hours, depending on how many people need it. But if we have a lot of people helping out, it's going to go very quick. You heard Prue last week. I think he got the completion from scratch within like 2 hours. Yep. And we had a fun time doing it. Yeah, and Fufu was there too, so it's not like 2 hours for one person. We went round robin on different things and knocked him out. So, but let us know if you want in, and please download it and log in every day until we get there. It will go much faster. Lastly, for all the chatter for contest and boost and just general whatever. Come to Discord, be a part of the conversation, discord.io/AH101. And we're coming up on the end of class here, so we want to thank you for hanging out with us for another week at Achievement Hunting 101. For all your achievement hunting needs, come to our Discord. Again, that's discord.io/AH101. And if that link ever acts wonky, hit anybody on here up on Xbox or TA, snail mail. We'll get you taken care of. And with that, I've been Rawkerdude on behalf of Koosh, L, and FuFuCuddilyPoof. Class is dismissed. Let the countdown to our next segment begin now. But first, top 3 reason Matriarch isn't here. Number three, she has better things to do. Number 2, she's unlocking Chivos for L. Number 1, she's making excuses for not attending PAX South with Elroy to host an awesome achievement-related panel.
Bye, guys.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
A very sequential segment with Matriarch, Exe the Hero, and Elroy OM2. Love that guy.
It's business as usual here at Very Sequential Segment, but in many circles in America, it may not be so much. It's partial government shutdown time, a time where people get outraged because the media tells you how angry you should be, but in reality, nobody really cares.
Yeah.
Regardless, several people deemed non-essential have had a teacher-sized Christmas break, and I, for one, am outraged that somehow being a teacher has been deemed essential. So, X, if you want to end this stupid pissing match between two sides, I think I have a solution.
Do tell.
Mark teachers as non-essential, and poof, there goes all the free babysitting. And the general population will rise up to a level never quite seen before. Government reopened by COB the next day. More importantly than all this partial government shutdown hogwash is that several of our beloved achievements may be affected by the outage. Here at VSS, it is our civic duty to make a PSA and let you know the top 3 achievements inspired by the partial government shutdown list. But first, some types of trees: maple, oak, elm, aspen, birch.
So, did you hear about the tree who tried solving the chemistry equation?
Was he stumped?
He was stumped.
Oh, I guess that one.
All right. But what did the pine tree say when all the other trees were happy that spring had arrived and they finally got their green leaves back? What did the pine tree say?
Something about cemeteries or something?
No. He said, birch, please. All right, fine. I know that. Oh, you got it. You finally got it. I was going to say, I know that pun was only oak K.
Right. Well, some tree jokes are more popular than others.
Ah, that's all right. I got one more.
Okay.
What did the tree prostitute say to her client?
Oh, I would love to know.
For an extra $5, you may pull my hair.
Just 5? Okay, so I got for you honorable mention. This first one is called Budget Security. So, one of my doom and gloom stories that I hear being floated out there is the impact of the partial government shutdown on TSA. So, word is that there are longer lines than usual at the airport because several TSA agents are no-showing because they are dicks. I mean, dicks that aren't getting paid. Something like that. One or the other. Or both, maybe. Who knows?
Free dick? Whoa.
So, all I can say is, TSA agents, cry me a river. Teachers never get paid, and we still show up for our whopping 180 days a year. And enjoy the other, 365 minus 180. Anyhow, it brings up...
It's 185. Come on, it's 185.
You're right.
Yeah.
You must be a teacher. Anyhow, it brings up my first entry, which is Budget Security, from a game that can only be described as simply amazing.
I thought you were going to say it's very corny.
Well, it is that indeed. But it's a game called Maze. So I saw that you played this one, X. Any residual thoughts from this 2-hour gym?
I'm not sure I understood a lot of it, but it was an experience.
It was. It definitely happened.
It happened.
Well, for me, I can't help look at this game and not get angry. I just get angry when I see this game. Now, it's not the game's fault. It's me. It's mine. It's a me issue. But there's a little known stat out there that I call the muffed completion. So I don't think you can search for it on TA to my knowledge, but then again, I'm really bad at TA, so maybe you can. But basically, a muffed completion is a game that you have all but one Chivo in. So there's 20 achievements, you get 19 of them. If there's 9 or 8 or 10, whatever. If there's 10, you get 9. If there's 6, you get 5. I mean, I guess those would be some pretty big gamer score games. But if there's 89, you get 88 of them. So you basically muff the completion. Now, it could be partly your fault. Okay, it's probably your fault. But maybe one's more difficult than the other. Whatever the excuse, you get a muff completion. So this happens to me way too much. Like, it has happened to me way too often recently. Like, I can think of probably about 10 games the last month alone that I've muffed completions on. And I think in the back of my mind, I keep saying, I should go back and finish that one. But then I'm like, I don't really care. So this game was one of those games. So I didn't realize when I started it that you had to play from start to finish to get the 150 gamer score Chivo called Maze Runner for finishing the game in under 2 hours and in one session. So I had stopped about halfway through, went and got a nice workout in, and then I come back and then I'm looking at the end. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I'm missing an achievement. And then I read about it. And so maybe I need to do better research. But that's neither here or
So
there.
it sounds like you traded your grains for gains.
Indeed. Well, that was well done. But I don't think we're here to talk about muffed completions. Although, TA, you need to get on that. I think probably, I don't know, Chin Doctor probably could tell you the stats on it, but I'm probably number 51 in the world, like on ACA games. So this is about the partial government shutdown. So, and so I just realized I'm in the making for another muff completion. I just started that Nor Chronicles Crime City story thingamajiggy, Artifacts Monday. Well, apparently you can play it on expert from the start, and so I didn't see that one line at the top of the walkthrough that I started. I just jumped right in, and so I didn't read the first line that says, oh, by the way, you can play on expert. So I would have gotten to the end of this game and realized that I didn't have to play it twice. So instead, I only got about 75% into this game, and then I'm like, oh, guess what? I guess I only had to play this once. So that was the latest in my muffed completions. I think I just need to do a little more research before I jump into a game. I think that's what this is coming down to. But
quick pro tip here, and then we'll let you get back to it. Every Artifacts Mundi game, you can play expert from the start.
Right, but in some of them you have to do 2 playthroughs because you have those little mahjong games or the little dominoes games and blah de blah de blah. But in this one, you only have to do 1 playthrough, so you would definitely need to do it on expert.
That means that Elroy plays on easy mode the first time.
Absolutely. You got to play through it twice. Who am I trying to impress here? So, partial government shutdown. Less, TS agents and amazing Chivo budget security. So, let's talk about this Chivo. So, in this Chivo, you have to fool some fairly primitive computer AI that conducts some kind of scan to see if there's a certain somebody standing at the door. If it's them, they open the door. Let's call this AI system something hypothetical. Let's call it Connect. So this Connect computer system is not very accurate. So basically, you dress up a coat rack with some clothes, and Connect thinks it's a person and grants you access, and you can continue your game, which you are hopefully doing in under 2 hours and in one run. So once fooled, you unlock budget security worth 50 whole gamer score. So about this budget security, at the airport, I have a flight in a couple days. I'll actually leave for PAX in San Antonio if anybody wants to meet up with me, and I leave a couple days. So I have a work obligation before this flight, and so it's going to be kind of a tight window as it is. So I am a little concerned that these stories of long lines at the TSA are going to be a real thing and not just whatever, and that I might actually have some problems. But on the other hand, the good news is that Memphis is not like a real airport. It has about 50 outgoing flights per day on a good day, maybe. But so I don't know, like, worst case scenario, if they only had one person, say hypothetically the age of what the fuck, working the security checkpoint, that I probably still could get through in time. So I don't know. We'll find out what happens in a couple of days. Next week, update. Did Elroy get through TSA in time and make it to PAX? Find out on VSS. There you go. There's your little tease.
Okay. So, number 3. When I hear government shutdown, what do I think immediately? Free the system, man! Free the system! From a Pixel story. This actually marks a first for me, because this will be the first time that I have ever gotten inspiration from a game I haven't played. But the title of this one is just too perfect to pass up. Better yet, the achievement description itself is also really good. Enter the city and bring down the tyrannical operator. Now, since I haven't played this game, I'm going to assume that this operator is orange and has very small hands, but that's just an assumption based on very limited context clues. I'm also going to go out and assume that this tyrannical operator has a wife that clearly loves him as a person and isn't just sticking around until he dies for a large inheritance. Why would I think that? So now that that's out of the way, why is the free the system achievement appropriate when talking about the government shutdown? Well, let's start with a joke. Elroy, what did the government employee say when he discovered the free market? He said, wait a minute, you guys get paid? Because he doesn't, and he didn't know it. Because the government is completely out of touch with reality. Okay, well, the system is clearly broken, and the only way to liberate it is to free it. The problem with that, though, is that upon freeing it and restoring it, well, nothing's actually going to change because the government doesn't do any work. Unless people begin to realize that the government wasn't actually doing anything in the first place, and that they can think for themselves instead of being a bunch of brainless sheep. Perhaps once they think for themselves, they realize that change is necessary, and perhaps once they realize that change is necessary, they'll do something about it. And I mean actually go do something, not just tweet or share a post 1,000 times, because that doesn't do anything. So while we're freeing the system, what exactly are we freeing it of? For starters, this asinine idea that the two-party system is the only way to function. Newsflash, people, don't like either candidate? There's like 40 other options, and 2 or 3 of them are actually pretty good. If more people figured this out, maybe we'd see some actual progress and actually get things done.
Did you vote for D's Nuts?
No, I voted for Harambe.
Oh, okay. I was just curious.
Yep, I voted for a dead gorilla. No, I didn't actually vote for Harambe. Gary Johnson, 2016. Oh. So, if more people figure that out, we'd get things done. But, what else are we freeing? I don't know, lots of things. But the only one that matters is that we can free ourselves from this epic theft known as taxation. And speaking of that, since the government has been shut down, I better not see any taxes taken out of my next paycheck. And, since that was unintentionally political, another joke. Why did North Korea stop trying to destroy our country? Because our own Congress beat them to it.
You know, what was the Pixel story about again?
I literally have no idea.
You brought it up, and I didn't really, I couldn't remember that one. I was like, man, it sounds kind of familiar, and but no, I haven't played it either. So what do you get this achievement for?
That's how I started off, man. That's for entering the city and bringing down the tyrannical operator.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Okay. You were throwing a lot at me there. I got lost in the shuffle there.
Quote bot, Elroy, you would know that if you had the script in front of you.
Hey, yeah, you're probably right. Okay. Number 2. My second affected achievement comes from Fearful Symmetry and the Cursed Prince.
I'll say it right.
Is that not how you say it?
Fearful Symmetry and the Cursed Prince.
Oh, God, that sounds so northern. So I assume you've played it. Yes?
I have.
Yeah, okay. Nacho played this one for me, and then I had to go mop up what he didn't do. So I kind of played it. So anyhow, specifically, the partial government shutdown might affect the achievement entitled The End of the Forest. So in this grueling achievement, you must do the following. You wait for the ghosts to quit laughing. Why they're laughing at you? I don't know. We just don't know why those ghosts find so much laughter at you. And so once they fully disappear, you hit left, up, right, right, up, left, left. And at that point, you collect a treasure. So, yeah, this is time well spent. And then you hit down, left, up, right, and up. I kind of went fast. Do I need to repeat that?
No, we're good.
Okay.
It was a vivid description. I can clearly picture it.
Okay, all right. So you can always scrub backwards on the podcast, or you'll probably catch it by at least the third time you listen to us, right? Or
yeah.
did we decide 5 times? I can't.
It was 15 actually.
Oh, okay. So bleep bloop, you get the End of the Forest achievement. So I don't know if this really works in real life. So Kelly and I, we were out biking the other day, and I got lost in the woods. I never thought to go left, up, right, up, left, up, left, collect my treasure, go down, left, up, right, and up. I never thought to do that. So it was actually kind of embarrassing because I had to be led out of the woods by a man in spandex. So he just happened to be biking by at the time, and he's like, "Oh, y'all don't come out here much," and because we didn't look like bikers. I don't even know if I had a helmet at that point. So I was on a street bike, not on a mountain bike, and it's out in the woods. And anyhow, but I digress. So now that this amazing achievement worth 10 gamer score or 12 TA.
Whoa!
Yes. Now that it's been thoroughly covered, how does this tie to a partial government shutdown? Well, there's a wealth of stories out there about how trash is piling up in our national parks and how we should be outraged and how this is the end of the forest. Oh, and other national landmarks, blah, 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 blah. Oh. So, listen, people. Step down from the ledges. All right, first thing, this isn't a partial government shutdown problem. This is a stupid person problem. So, when one is out in the woods, the golden rule is you're basically supposed to take anything you brought in back out with you. It's Woods 101 on Achievement 101.
Hey.
Yeah. So, when you know that the trash isn't going to be picked up anytime soon, why the F are you throwing stuff away? Huh? Why are you throwing it in the trash cans? It's not going anywhere. It's because some people just throw their garbage anywhere. It doesn't matter. These are the same dumbasses that need a government to hold their hands, or more likely, the ones that have their hand out for the government to fill, while the rest of us working folks get unreasonable taxes and all the other crap. So, they're probably the same people that are probably complaining about the trash in the first place. So, they're like, oh, just throw this on the ground. Why is the government not cleaning it up? Oh, and I'm going to call the news station. There's trash on the ground. Yeah, because you threw it there, you dumbass. So, sure, it's gross and whatnot, but just think. We're doing a solid for those bears and coons out there that are probably smarter than these individuals leaving their trash behind in the first place. Secondly, the woods, they don't need our help to be protected. So, there were stories circulating, there's more people dying out there in the national parks because of the shutdown. Oh, outrage. Their fault. Stupid people. So, I've been out to the woods many, many times, and I've tried to kill myself in the woods many, many times. I was on my before-mentioned non-mountain bike on trails in the woods. I fell off 2 bridges. Kelly thought I was going to die. And I just rubbed some dirt in it and kept going. One time I did a full front flip onto my back when I went up this one hill, and I didn't realize, I don't know much about biking. We were just out having fun, and I didn't realize when I went flying down this this hill and went up the other side, there was like this little ledge sticking out, and it would help to have inflated tires. Instead, my tire collapsed on it, and then I just went flying forward, landed flat on my back, flipped completely over my bike, and I got up, and I didn't blame the government shutdown for it. Recently, Kelly and I were out running in the woods. Kelly tripped on a damn root, twisted her ankle all to hell. She was off it for 2 months. But more importantly, there was nobody out there to help us. But guess what I did? As her wonderful husband, I threw her on my back, and I carried her for half a mile out of the woods and saved her life. No, maybe not saved her life. Maybe not saved her life, but I did lead her out of the woods and get her to safety where she could, ice it like a real person. But anyhow, we've tried to kill ourselves in the woods many times, and it was always our fault. Okay, but since we're talking about the woods, I would be remiss if I didn't bring up Firewatch. Perhaps, I should wait until the follow-up segment once the partial government shutdown is over, and undoubtedly we will have the top 5 achievements that have to do with reopening the government fully list. And then mention the Chivo in the game called Back to Work for finishing, day 2, Secret, worth a digestible 100 gamer score. Ultimately, however, I bring it up partly out of embarrassment. X, I'm a little embarrassed here.
Okay.
Now, Rocker and I, we do an amazing segment called AWH, Achievement Wildlife Hunters.
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard it?
I have. Apparently, not many other people have.
Yeah, possibly? No. Yeah. We did a coon segment, and somehow we did not mention possibly the best coon Chivo out there, which comes from Firewatch. It is called The Life and Times of Raccoon Carter. It is gained for getting attacked by a raccoon and not dying from rabies. So, Rocker recently posted a video of this Chivo in Discord. So, if you're not in the Discord, you should probably go join now because it was an amazing video. And I had forgotten how epic it was. So, you're in the National Forest, which isn't affected by a partial government shutdown because you're the government employee. But it is nighttime. You enter an abandoned lodge. You make your way to the basement because so many great things happen in basements, right? So you go to a basement of an abandoned house, good things can only happen. So why wouldn't you go to the basement? So there's an old stove in the corner. Oh my gosh, it's an old stove. What's this? You can interact with the stove. You wonder what could be inside this stove. You walk over to the stove. You turn the handle of the stove. Coon in your face. Coon all over the place. You should have brought a shovel, punk. You fall down. The coon talks some junk to you. Then he jumps out the window. You may not have found Raccoon Carter, but you found Coon. Bloop, bloop. 100 gamer score. If you haven't got this achievement, you got to go get it now. Thus, it is my hope that as this partial government shutdown continues, the coon population in our national parks will blossom, and a multitude of people who might not have otherwise will get to have a real-life Raccoon Carter experience. God bless the USA, Merc.
Okay. Yeah. I forgot about that achievement until you started talking about it. That was a good one. That was a really good one.
I like that one.
Well, do you want to say it?
Number 1.
I have to give it to him, folks. This week's number 1 goes to what is basically, in my opinion, the perfect achievement for a government shutdown. And what might that be? Well, the achievement is called Democracy Falls from Assassin's Creed Odyssey. So, government shutdown happens and democracy falls. Oh no! Whatever will happen? Well, much like the achievement is for completing episode 6 in the game, this result is also for completing Revolution 6. That's right. You've heard of the American Revolution, the French Revolution, the Glorious Revolution, the Bolshevik Revolution, and the Sinhai Revolution. But now it's time for the American Revolution Part 2, The Fall of Democracy. In 1776, we fought to establish an independent government, but in 2019, we're fighting to destroy it. Who will reign supreme? Stay tuned and find out. I'd watch that movie, wouldn't you? So what's going down in American Revolution Part 2, you may ask? Well, what once was a mighty democracy is now an anarchy. By the people, for the people. But first, educational portion. Do you guys know that our government system is not actually a democracy? We strut and parade around the world promoting democracy when we ourselves don't actually follow those rules. Do you know what we are?
Representative Republic?
We are a representative republic because of the Electoral College.
Yeah.
Nicely done, Elroy.
I learned that a long time ago.
All right. Not many people know that.
Huh.
So, what's going on? No, educational portion. So what's going on in this fallen democracy? For starters, to borrow from the appropriately titled game Anarchy Reigns, I've discovered that we will have Anarchy in the Navy, Anarchy Coast Guard, and Anarchy Carriers out at sea. While these achievements are simply for completing the story missions on various difficulties, the real-life implications are that our military will cease to exist under anarchy, and instead we'll have to defend ourselves with a good old-fashioned militia. You hear that, folks? Round up your guns and ammunition and get your rear ends to the rally point. We got issues to resolve. Or whatever militias do. I don't know. Obviously, Obviously, our rebellion will be so successful that not one, but two, three if you count stacks, games have predicted anarchy in the UK. These achievements are from Testament of Sherlock Holmes and Vampire, and in both cases, they very fittingly require you to put yourself in the company of miscreants to achieve your goals. Watch out, your royal majesty. Anarchy is coming for you. Now, surely, some of our more opportunistic listeners are wondering how they might play into this anarchic future, and I am happy to report that I have news for them. Anarchy Master from Bulletstorm has your back. Instead of needing to score 50,000 points to become an Anarchy Master in real life, you just need to amass 50,000 followers, and you'll have a militia large enough to tackle even the toughest of foes. How might you get 50,000 followers, you might ask? Just go to the Apple Store and tell them anarchy is better than democracy for literally any reason you can think of, and they'll follow you, no questions asked. They're like sheep. Apple sheep. Literally going with the herd.
All their batteries are terrible, too.
Yeah, that too. Stupid Apple sheep. All right, then. Maybe you're on the other side of the fence and you would like to end the anarchy and return to our former democratic glory. Well, going back to Anarchy Reigns, the Anarchy's Execution achievement is for you. You earn it in the game for killing all the bosses with your killer weapon, and you earn it in real life for killing all the aforementioned Anarchy Masters with your killer weapon. What is your killer weapon? Well, I'm an English teacher, so I have a pretty good vocabulary, but I am finding it really hard to come up with the words to describe it, but I'm gonna try. Your killer weapon is quite simply the most pulchritudinous, exquisite paradigm ever to grace the illustrious winsomeness of our planet Earth. The majestic American flag.
Yeah!
Yeah!
You got me pumped, man.
Oh, yeah,
We're
America!
talking some flags. Woo!
Waving its stars and stripes in front of you, you'll burst forth from the burning wreckage that has become civilization, and its mere brilliance will blind the anarchists and render them defenseless against your purge of the unpatriotic infidels. You'll stand on a mountain of decay, but springing forth from your feet will emerge a radiant bloom, the likes of which has never been seen, and new life will overcome all negativity, resulting in a new America that abides by the rules set forth by our humble Constitution. Lawbreakers will cower at the very thought of misconduct, and our enemies will crumble before the weighty authority of our new American democracy. Literal gold stars will cross the sky like a magnificent eagle spreading its golden wings, encompassing all in the name of democracy. And yeah, all that will happen if the government doesn't get its shit back together. So you listen in Congress, best beyond that. Oh, and to end with a quote from Donald Trump back in 2013. A shutdown falls on the president's lack of leadership. He can't even control his party and get people together in a room. A shutdown means the president is weak. Couldn't agree more, Trump. Couldn't agree more.
I always like the quote, the government governs less, or something like that, is governs best. Yeah.
Ah, Henry David Thoreau. That government which governs least governs best.
I love it.
That
right.
That government is best which governs least. That's it.
All right, we got it right. Education portion. Speaking of education, top 5 punny dog names. Number 5, Bart Vader. Number 4, Wolverine. Number 3, Count Wagula. Number 2, Mary Poppins. And number 1, Doggy Kong.
All right. Top 5 household pets. Number 5, dogs. Number 4, hedgehogs. Number 3, cats. Number 2, hermit crabs. Number 1, pandas.
Huh. Well, thanks again for listening, folks. We're on the internet, so, you can find us there. So, let the countdown to our next list begin now.
America!
I love it.
These nuts. Ha! Got him!
Hello and welcome to Wakapale Preloaded, which is a silly name since I believe I preloaded a single game for longer than a week. Preloading is the act of getting as close to fulfilling the requirements of a most of the time high value achievement or set of achievements as possible, and save your game just as you're about to get that sweet bleep bloop and save it for later. This is mostly used for various contests or record attempts to get as many high-value achievements available in a short manner of time. I'm personally a bad preloader and don't enjoy it much at all. Luckily, I have a prominent preloader as a guest this week. Welcome, Skeptical Mario.
Hi, thanks for having me on.
You're welcome. Do you mind sharing a few thoughts about why you have been preloading for so long?
No, I don't mind. I mean, I started preloading not for any contests, although it's a very effective strategy for contests. I just like the idea of changing the way you earn achievements. Normally when you play right through, you get achievements as they come. But I've felt it was appealing to me to be able to like change the way you do that, so you get a lot of them close together, or maybe getting achievements in an order that's not intended. I haven't done a lot of that, but I have done a lot of preloading. Like every game I've played for the last 6 years, I've preloaded as much as I can. And then I spent the last 2 weeks just getting all those achievements. 1,000 achievements in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, you've really been taking over many people's friend feeds with all your recent milestones. It's very impressive.
Thanks.
Today we will discuss a game that is one of the most powerful preloads available TA-wise, and one of the best 2D platformers available for the Xbox One, Chariot. Chariot is a 2D platformer. The king has recently died, and it is up to you to find him a suitable resting place. Unfortunately, the king is very chatty for being dead, and very demanding as well. What do you have to say about the quality of the game, Mario?
I agree that it's one of the best 2D platformers on the system. It's one of my favorite games on Xbox, and it's one of the ones I started playing as soon as I got the console. It's a lot slower paced than your average platformer, especially the more difficult platformers. I enjoy the art style and the humor and the difficulty, because I have played a lot of platformers, but Chariot is one of my favorites. I like the way it's got a very solid physics engine, the way you pull the chariot around, the way it moves, and the way you interact with it as a secondary character makes for, I think, some really enjoyable gameplay.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of people that started playing Chariot. It was released as a Games with Gold title back in October of 2014, and almost 60,000 players have started it, but only 12,000 have completed the first set of levels, and only 3,000 have completed the second set of levels. This is not indicative of how difficult the levels are or the quality of it, as they are really not challenging at all at first. The difficulty curve of this game starts off really low if you're familiar with 2D platformers, and it just slowly increases as the levels go on, with the occasional difficulty spike. But it's really not difficult at all until you get to the final set of levels, which can be problematic, but they're really not that bad. And once you've completed the final level and discover the secret hidden level, the difficulty finds a rocket somewhere and goes through the roof. It's a really big difficulty spike at the end. And the final level is it's called the Dream Breaker. It's one of my favorite platforming levels of all time, but it is insanely difficult in comparison to the rest of the things that you are asked to do in this game.
Yeah, it's a very difficult level. And like you said, the difficulty curve throughout the game, it goes up at a reasonable pace from the beginning when it's quite easy to the end where it's fairly difficult. And then in the secret level, they ask you to take all of the tricks and everything you've learned about the physics and controlling the chariot throughout the game, and then they ask you to, or it expects you to have mastered them so that you can use all those techniques to get through the secret level. And I feel like it's the pinnacle of gameplay that it expects, and I think it's really well designed in that way. I just kind of wish the developers hadn't gated so much gamer score from the game behind that level.
I don't think that too much of the gamer score is gated behind there. Most of the TA is, since it is determined by ratios. And the ratios in this game are very, very high, but they are inflated. mostly due to the high number of starters and very few that have managed to get through the game. It is an incredibly difficult completion, but there's nothing that is completely impossible for most.
No, nothing super frustrating. And aside from the speed runs, you can have a co-op player, a second player drop in at any time and help you out. And that can make everything else much more easy.
Unfortunately, there's only local co-op, and the co-op partner will not be getting any achievements.
That's true. Otherwise, I would probably be helping people all the time with this game.
It is a really fun game. Unfortunately, it doesn't really get very good until the later stages. The ramp up is a bit too slow for my taste.
Yeah, I've always felt not enough people gave Chariot a fair shake.
And it's understandable. The slow pace at the beginning can put people off, but it really is a high quality game, and the final level is one of the best cases of game design I've ever seen. It is an amazing level. The first time it took me 5 hours to get through, and as much as I banged my head against the wall trying to get through it, it never felt unfair. The level design made it seem possible, and it didn't hide invisible spikes or something like that. You always had enough information to get through the level. You just had to figure out how to do it.
Yeah, you get all the tools you need from playing through the rest of the game. You just need to apply them correctly.
The achievements that are very high ratio, the biggest one is for completing the speed runs with a gold rating. This one is worth 75 gamer score and 1787 TA, which is a ratio of 23.83, which is the highest ratio achievement that I have at the moment.
Same here.
And once again, this is very, very difficult, mostly due to the final hidden level, the Dream Breaker, but it is far from impossible. If you decide to preload this game, I recommend you save the very first speedrun for last. That way you can set up at least 3 achievements to be unlocked in 3 minutes or so by completing the first speedrun without a gadget equipped. And if you get a gold in your first run, you will start off with the Greased Lightning achievement. You will get the bronze medal as well. It's worth 540 TA, and the no gadget achievement is worth 211 TA.
Yeah, any game where you have to do something in every level, like beat every level on a difficulty or get a speed run through every level, then you can usually just save the first level for your preload, and so that you can come back to it later, because most of the time that's the easiest one and the fastest.
And it is very easy. It shouldn't take you very long time at all if you have mastered the rest of the game. There are also 2 notable achievements that you get through the store. One for spending 500,000 loot, which will give you 25 game score and 304 TA. And in case you have gotten everything else done in the game and you buy all the equipment in the store, you will also get reach 100% completion, which is worth 75 gamer score and 1548 TA, along with another achievement for buying all the things in the store.
Yeah, and even if you can't complete all the speed runs or get gold medal in all the speed runs, just completing the speed run at all counts for the completion. So you can still get the 100% completion achievement without even getting bronze in the speed run for the secret level, as long as you can complete it.
Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, the secret level took me more than 5 hours probably to get through the first time, and you have to play it multiple times to get some other achievements if you're going for the completion, and you will likely play it a few times while going for the gold. But when I eventually did it, I think my time was close to 16 minutes from 5 hours.
Oh, I think that's better than mine. I think mine was 25 minutes the first time, and maybe a little shorter than that the second time. I had to do it twice because when they released the DLC, the patch for that completely reset my progress, so I had to play the entire game over again.
Yeah, that is probably one of the reasons that a lot of people put this down originally. It was released as a Games with Gold title, and a lot of people started it. There were some issues with it, and the developers issued a patch that erased a lot of people's progress. So many people had to start over.
Yeah.
The patch was not all bad. It had some quality of life improvements for achievement hunters. It started tracking the map and collectibles if you looked at them in the level view, so you can see what you had done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you could easily preload the revealing the map of all the levels now that they put that in there.
Yeah, and that's quite a big ratio achievement. It's got 25 gamer score, but it's worth 400 TA.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd recommend preloading that one too, if you need something that's high ratio for a contest or something.
Many achievements in this game are very, very inflated. For example, there is the achievement A Ropeless Situation, which is a 9.0 super easy achievement if you have the DLC installed, as it comes with a teleporter that makes you able to not use the rope for one level. You can probably get that 9.0 achievement in less than 5 minutes. Speaking of DLC, this is a game where you actually have a full completion with the DLC.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to sound that cheap, but I wanted to contribute to the developers since I enjoy this game so much and I didn't pay anything for it. So I shelled out the $250 for the DLC pack.
The DLC doesn't actually provide a lot of value, I think. There's no new levels or anything like that. You just get some new skins for your player, as well as 3 new gadgets that are not as useful as the gadgets in the main game, and especially the magnet is the most powerful gadget in the game once you've figured out how to use it.
Yeah, you should always use the magnet. I didn't think any of the DLC gadgets were interesting enough to use, except for getting achievements.
Yeah, I did use the teleporter for a lot of the time, but that was because I didn't look at any guides or anything, and I thought the teleporter was useful. But once I realized...
Oh, you didn't use the walkthrough?
Oh, I'm sorry, I did not use the walkthrough. I might have taken a look at it when I was mopping up the final achievements for the Dreambreaker. But up to that point, I did not see a need for it.
Yeah.
But once I realized how powerful the magnet was, that was the only gadget I used.
Yeah, it's a difficult walkthrough to write because a lot of what you need is like the different techniques, like the way you can pull the chariot up onto the platform so that you can jump farther, and the different things you can do with the gadgets. It's not like there's a lot of collectibles. I mean, there are a bunch of collectibles, but they show up on the map. They're not that hard to find. So I could see not needing a walkthrough and preferring to figure that out all yourself.
I'm sure it was a lot more useful before they added the tracking of collectibles on the map.
Yeah. And if you were just struggling to get through the game and you didn't want to replay any level more than you absolutely have to, I could see that.
Well, getting through most of the game will not take you very long, and the ratios along the way are heavily inflated. But to get the completion, you will have to put in quite a number of hours into this game. Personally, I did it in around 50 hours.
That sounds about right. I can't say how many hours I spent on it since I've played it through the entire game like 4 times.
According to TA, you played it for 177 hours and 16 minutes.
Yeah, it's a great game. It's one of the few games I've played more than I have to for all the achievements.
Yeah, I agree. Chariot is a fantastic game, but it is a slow burn and takes a while to get going.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for joining me, Skeptical Mario.
Yeah, it was nice. It was nice talking about Chariot and talking about preloading.
If we have anyone else in the community that would like to join me to discuss one of their favorite games or just one of their favorite gaming techniques, feel free to reach out and I will get back to you. Bye everyone.
Okay, bye.